Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're talking about something I think is incredibly important. We all have these boxes of old family photos, right? And we're facing this really critical choice. What's the best way to preserve them? It turns out, how you do it matters a lot.
I mean, think about it. Every family has them. Shoeboxes, dusty albums, little carousels of slides, maybe even envelopes of negatives. They hold our entire history. But, as this question on the screen suggests, time is not their friend. They're literally fading away.
And that right there, that's really our mission today. This isn't just some tech-heavy chore. It's about rescuing a legacy. We're going to figure out how to do this the right way to make absolutely sure these amazing stories survive for our kids and their kids.
So here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about why this is so urgent. Then, we'll look at the go-to solution for most people, your smartphone. After that, we'll dive into the professional method, the one archivists use, and put them head to head. And we'll wrap up with how you can build a truly lasting family archive.
You know those vintage prints, especially the color ones from the 60s, 70s, and 80s? They were made with some pretty delicate dyes, and those dyes are just incredibly prone to fading and turning yellow. So digitizing them isn't just a nice project for a rainy day, it's a genuine race against time. We're trying to create a digital lifeboat for these memories before they're gone for good.
And that's because every single one of these photos is a historical document, and it's jam-packed with clues. I heard this great story about a woman named Olivia. She found a photo her grandma had labeled Great-Great-Uncle Thomas. She tried snapping a pic with her phone, but the details were just mushy. It wasn't until she got a proper, high-quality digital copy that she could see the details on his uniform and finally piece his story together. Which brings us right to the smartphone. Of course, it's what we reach for. It's in our pocket, it's super fast, and it's perfect for zapping a photo over to your cousin on social media. It feels like the obvious, modern fix for this huge, overwhelming task. But here's the big question. Is convenience the same thing as true preservation?
And this, right here, this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. It's a classic battle. On one side, you've got the incredible ease of your phone, and on the other, you have the cold, hard laws of physics that determine what actually makes a high-quality archival image.
See, the problem is, your phone has some serious limitations built right in. That tiny little sensor, it really struggles to capture the beautiful, subtle grain of an old photo, so it creates this fuzzy stuff we call digital noise. The wide-angle lens, which is great for selfies, makes the edges of a flat photo look curved and puffy. That's barrel distortion. And maybe worst of all, its AI software often tries to guess details, which can actually change the photo's authentic texture. It's trying to make a nice-looking picture, not a faithful, accurate copy.
So what's the alternative? Well, it's a method called camera scanning, and it's what the pros trust to create a real digital archive. This is literally how museums and historical archives do it, and believe me, it's more accessible than you might think.
Okay, so it all starts with a dedicated mirrorless camera. The physical sensor inside can be 5, even 10 times bigger than the one in your phone. The best way to think about it is like having a much bigger bucket to catch light. The more light you can catch, the cleaner and more detailed your image is, without needing any software tricks to fake it.
The next crucial piece of the puzzle is a one-to-one macro lens. This thing acts like a perfect precision magnifying glass, and using a longer focal length, 60 millimeters or more, is key. It lets you capture the photo from the right distance, making sure the edges are perfectly straight with absolutely zero distortion. You capture the real grain, the real texture of the original print.
And finally, the copy stand. Now, you could try to use a tripod, but a copy stand is just so much better for this job. It gives you rock-solid stability, and it holds the camera perfectly parallel to the photo. This isn't just about convenience, it's absolutely critical for getting repeatable, perfectly sharp, and perfectly aligned images every single time.
All right, now for the fun part. Let's put these two methods head-to-head and look at the features that really truly matter when you're trying to create an archive that's going to stand the test of time.
The differences here are just night and day. With a phone, you're constantly fighting the glare from your room's lights. With a proper camera setup, you control the light. You can use diffusers and even polarizing filters to completely eliminate reflections. A phone gives you a compressed JPEG file, which throws data away. A camera gives you an uncompressed RAW file. And this is so important. A camera lets you embed rich, custom metadata, the stories, the names, the dates, directly into the file itself.
Let's dig into that RAW file for a second. Think of a RAW file as the digital equivalent of a film negative.
It contains vastly more information and detail than a JPEG from your phone. You have so much more latitude for making adjustments later. You're getting the pure, untouched optical data, which is exactly what you need for true restoration and long-term preservation.
And the benefits just keep stacking up. You know, with the proper setup, you can digitize an entire 36 exposure roll of film in just a few minutes. It's shockingly fast. Some modern cameras even have pixel shift technology that can create these jaw-droppingly detailed files. We're talking over 150 megapixels. Plus, you can tether your camera to a computer, see the results instantly on a big screen. It completely transforms your workflow. So let's see how this all comes together. Because capturing amazing, high-quality images is really only half the battle. The real goal here is to turn that messy pile of digital files into an organized, permanent library for your family.
I love this phrase. It's such a powerful idea. Because if you don't have a system, all you've really done is trade a physical shoebox for a digital one. Just a chaotic folder on your desktop full of files with names like img_4571 with no context, no order. The whole point is to create something searchable, something that makes sense.
The professional workflow is actually pretty simple, but it's essential. First, you create a consistent naming system for all your files and folders. Then, you do your digitizing with your camera setup. Next, and this is the magic step, you embed the stories, the names, the dates, the places right into the file's metadata using a universal standard called IPTC. And finally, you back everything up so it's safe forever.
This quote just captures the whole mission perfectly. You're not just scanning an image. You are preserving the entire historical artifact. The little handwritten notes on the back, the album it came from, all of that context is part of the story. And a professional workflow is what lets you save all of it. Because ultimately, that's what this all comes down to, right? It's about honoring the people and the incredible stories that are locked away in these photos. Choosing the right tools isn't about being a tech snob. It's about giving your family's story the care, the detail, and the authenticity it truly deserves. So, as you look at those boxes of photos you have tucked away, the real question isn't just if you should save them, but how. You are the steward of this precious history. What tools are you going to choose to make sure that story gets told?